Okay, so this is going to be the story of the XT3 being destroyed and kind of the process behind insurance and timetable. So 2022, November 22nd is when I dropped off the computer, or the camera and the lens at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, if you are in the U.S., you know that Thanksgiving was on the 24th, which is 2 days away. I assumed that on the 22nd, if I dropped it off, the 23rd or the 22nd, they would put it in the mail and it would ship out. And of course, nothing really happens on the 24th or the 25th, but it'd be shipped and then it'd get to Fuji probably 29, 30, right? So that's November. I find out, I call Fuji, hey, where's the camera? They hadn't received it yet. It had been December 6th. So I called the camera store and they said, yeah, we shipped it out on that Monday, the 28th. So it literally, the day after I called Fuji, they contacted me and said, I think it was on Wednesday, the 7th or the 8th, Thursday. I said, hey, we got your camera. We're going to look over it. I said, great. They came back on the 12th, I think it was, which is a Monday, and sent the information to our camera store that the cost of it was Tuesday, the cost of the repair and everything. So then I called the camera store on the 17th, which is that Saturday, and I said, hey, I haven't heard nothing back. How long does it take for Fuji? And they're like, oh, we just got the information back. They said, we didn't get any information. So they gave me the number to Fuji, so I called Fuji, and Fuji's like, yeah, we gave it to them Tuesday. They should have it. So then I said, okay. So I called back to the store. They're like, oh, yes, I'm sorry, we have the invoice. What do you want to do with it? So that Monday, the 19th, I said, well, because that's when they called me back. I said, Monday the 19th, I said, let's get it fixed. I got to call the insurance. So I called the insurance. I sent them the invoice on that Monday. They sent me a response back Wednesday saying, yep, we're good to go. And so they just had to process it. I said, cool. So then I called the camera store and I said, hey, go ahead and process the camera. On the 23rd, they called me back and they said, hey, are you sure you want to process this? And I'm going back and forth with their manager. Like, yeah, I said Wednesday, or actually Tuesday, to go ahead and do it because I figured the insurance was going to be okay with it. Then they sent me an invoice for $900 for the camera and $300 for the lens. And the invoice that I had originally gotten from Fuji / that camera store was $500 for the camera, $200 for the lens. So it's like $7 something. And that's what the invoice I sent to the insurance. So I told the camera store, hey, that's not the invoice I got. Here's the invoice. We went back and forth on Friday. They said, fine, okay, we're going to go ahead and go with the price that Fuji quoted you. And they're just going to take the hit. So I said, great. So then I called on the that was the 23rd. That's Christmas Eve. Or no, that's 2 days before Christmas. And I called on the 28th, 29th, and I said, hey, I cannot pick it up at your store. Is there a way you can ship it to your competitor, not the competitor, but like another person's store that has to deal with photos, printing and everything that they go through? And I can just pay the invoice over the phone. You can ship it there because it's closer. I don't want to drive 2 hours to go to your store and pick it up. And this place is 30 minutes away from me. And so they said, yeah, sure, we can do that. I talked to the manager. That was on the 29th. I called Fuji because I was like, hey, what's taking so long? And they go, we just barely got the order on the 26th. So I said, well, I really need the camera. I need it by the first week. Is there any way you can get it done? Because I have a wedding on the 7th. And they said, we're going to do our best to get it done. We'll get it done as fast as we can. So I said, okay. They shipped it on the 5th of January back to the camera store. The camera store got it Friday, I guess, because it was overnighted. They didn't call me till Monday evening at 8 o'clock on the 9th saying, hey, your camera's ready. So I got it that Tuesday. Finally got the camera, tested it out, got everything I needed to get. Had already paid the invoice to the camera store. I just picked it up at their photo lab area. Lady's like, you cool? I go, yep, everything looks good. I appreciate it. Thank you. So that process took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks to get done. They fixed the LCD screen. They fixed the card reader number 2 problem. They fixed the viewfinder. They fixed the mount on the lens and the mount on the camera. So they did a really good job on all that. So I called the guy from Fuji and said, hey, why did it take so long? He said, you're not, what is it called, a professional. So we fixed it as we got them in. And but we fixed it as fast as we could to try to get back to you. It's the camera store. And I think that's where the hitch is, where the weak link is the camera store. I talked to the guy from Fuji, and he goes, sometimes you have to go through the camera store depending on your region. You can't ship it to us. So I said, okay. And so there's another camera store I found out that was closer, and they are just as bad, what I've seen reviews of shipping things and getting information to you and everything. And I think this just shows like a company, like you lose trust in a company because of a lack of communication. And that's something that, people have to deal with, I guess, on a consistent basis. Well, I appreciate your time for listening. It's been kind of an ordeal starting from November 22nd. Well, really, when the camera broke, that was it the 12th of November, all the way to January 10th is kind of, the process behind all this. But thanks for listening. You have a good day, good night, and I'll see you on the other side.